So, if you're in the market this week, what the fuck? Monday, everything went up, and then nosedive from there like a kamikaze pilot. I can't believe how much money I made and lost in a single week. Like, I'm not even angry because I'm just still trying to process that it happened. But I somewhat prepared for this. In this game of trading stocks and trading options, stocks is safe, so you just have to hold on to your stocks at this time. Wait for it to bounce back up. Don't sell short just because you're scared. And if you're playing the options game, you really need to be, especially when you have limited resources, you have to be slightly defensive in your purchasing of shares just so that you could prepare and protect yourself from market crashes like what we just experienced. I bought contracts where the expiration dates were at least 2 to 3 weeks out. And that really helped because instead of having to clear everything after the first initial drop and lose out on all the gains, lose out on any of the opportunity down the line, especially if you're using a limited budget, you could reposition your portfolio to succeed further down the line. So that's what I did. With my contracts expiring weeks out, I had a couple in oil, I had a couple in banks, financial institutions, casinos. I have a couple in casinos. And I just reallocated all the weak positions. So I pulled out of some bad airlines, I put it into good airlines, even though right now there's probably no good airlines. But except Alaskan, maybe. Alaskan is the only airline I don't think anyone has downgraded yet. I do trade the ETF Gush because it's a slightly more simplistic where you're getting an overall coverage. Since oil production output is down, since all these negotiations, Saudi Arabia is talking like they're not going to agree to anything post the contract, the OPEC contract. Picking a specific oil corporation to back is tricky if you can't truly understand their numbers, their exports, who their customers are, and what's the size of each customer base they have in terms of airlines, commercial vehicles, ships. Do they ship domestically? Do they ship internationally? Unless you know a lot of this information, it'll be kind of difficult to trade oil right now. But Gush is more of a generalized picture of what's kind of happening in the energy and oil market. And that's why it's more simplistic for new traders to understand. There's always the big oil names like Chevron, Shell, BP, all those guys. They're expected to survive this, but it can be tricky. Yeah, I took an L on Delta this week. Lost money. It looked like a good trade at the beginning. But once everything crashed, it just became clear I had to get out of this position and reallocate myself into the more financially secure companies for the long haul because this market is so unpredictable. And people are wondering if the market is truly reflecting the economy or not. And a lot of people are saying no. That is why many top analysts did not believe in this 7-day market rally that we had, where the NASDAQ reached new peaks. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to fade entirely, but we might reach a point of volatility where you see some oscillation in the market. It's going to go up and down and float around a certain average until it builds its way up when the economy starts to recover. But until then, everything's going to be a little iffy and unpredictable. Even though everything took a crash, I still believe highly in the casinos, and long-term investing in them wouldn't be a bad idea. They're more of a trade, but because casino stock valuations are so much lower than where they normally traded at in February, there's still opportunity for sure growth. If you make the right deals and are willing to sit and hold for a second, because it might not fluctuate as much as the oil industry will in the coming months, but it will steadily go up. Shout out to anyone trading Boeing. Anyone who traded Boeing up until Monday made ridiculous amount of money. The stock price went up from 150 to 230 and then back down to now 180-ish as the market crashed. So this week it came out that some financial firm raised Amazon's strike price from where they're sitting at 2,400, 2,500 to 3,300. And it is hilarious how Amazon is laughing in the face of these broke motherfuckers. They are literally running up the score like the Monstars. And they don't give a fuck. Bezos is the CEO that we need. He shows humility and power at the same time. And that is what America's top dogs have to do. He shows humility through the email he received and sent back in response to Black Lives Matter on Amazon. But he also shows power by growing his net worth billions while unemployment reaches the highest point in my life, I think. I don't know. We're really seeing who has the biggest dicks in the game now. There's clear winners and everyone wants to shit on Zuckerberg. But Facebook is at all-time highs. When shit hits the fan, you want Bezos, you want Zuckerberg. You want some weird, awkward white guy that you know isn't a threat. Have you seen pictures of Jeff Bezos in the past? Money does change. You think the Kardashians got changed. He's a whole new human. They couldn't fix the eye, but you gotta love Amazon and Bezos just because he's literally trying to do everything. It's like if you gave your fucking broke uncle money. He thinks he could fix the pool. He thinks he could fix your broken arm. If there's any corner where Bezos sniffs cash, Amazon is opening a new business immediately. You're like, yeah, I could do that. Apple's another real one. They don't give a fuck what Amazon is doing. Apparently, their new strike price raised to high 300s. And it makes sense because they're no longer going to outsource the production of their chips and they're going to make it in-house. Apple is trying to find a way to control every aspect of their business in-house, which will allow them to build off of that. And that's also amazing. When you have the financial backing of Apple at a certain point, whole control of your operations is the next step to become untouchable. So here's a company that's going to be interesting for 5 to 10 years to come. They are Nikola. They discovered a way to power a truck through hydrogen fuel cells, and now they are kind of cleaning up the market. Everyone saw the rise and the emergence of Tesla, and anything with a weird name that ends with an A and doesn't use gas is now getting the funding of everyone. Like, I saw a dog throw a bone in just to be like, hey, I see what you're doing here. I appreciate it. So Nikola, what they do is, at least at the beginning stage of the company as they continue to grow, they lease the trucks and they don't sell services to companies as a whole. They sell routes. They don't exclusively go with a company and transport to all their industries, all their plants, all their factories that need to get product, because the way in which hydrogen fuel trucks need to get fueled, they can only establish in so many locations as they still grow. So they're selling routes where they have established refueling stations where these trucks will run efficiently. And as they grow their refueling stations to other locations, they will continue to sell routes. But I like the way they're going about the route sales. It's limiting the liability for them in terms of not being able to get what they need to, when they need to, where they need to. I think it's a smart play, dominating what you can dominate now until you're ready to dominate everything later. I really want to see what Elon thinks about all this, though, because so many people are biting his swag. This man has done anything and everything. Shit, let's be real. You're getting a Neuralink. You can afford it, you're going to get it. Everyone who's like, oh no, I'm not going to get no stupid ass Neuralink. Your ass is in an apartment right now. You're not hearing those conversations going down in the homes with Mercedes. They're like, what'd you say? Wi-Fi to the mind? Shit, I could. I could really watch a lot of porn like this. And no one will know? This is, oh my God. I could tune out my wife? You see, I'm not really that much of a conspiracy theorist, and I definitely don't promote it when it comes to people's money because let's be real, money makes the world go round. But this week, I heard an analyst say on Monday that she was waiting for the market to pull back like 10% and then go from there. And I just heard repeated statements like that all day. And then next thing we know, the market crashes in a catastrophic fashion. So, are they a part of this? Like, yo, how'd you get into that club? How do you know when this is gonna happen? I understand repeated market history, but we are also in an unprecedented time. And honestly, if they have a stronghold on the industry, I don't really care. I want in. Come on, invite me to the meeting. I promise I won't talk. Where do you think they go to plan out all their dark web catastrophes that strike human race? Like, I feel like it's a basement kind of meeting. Those meetings don't go down in offices with windows. Oval tables, too. I don't think that's a time for a rectangle table. There's probably a map on the table, the CNBC logo on a wall behind them. People talk about their fears of monopolies, but like, are they that bad? I mean, yes, but it's not a monopoly that makes the monopoly, I feel like, especially in these days. Maybe back in the railroad days where your great grandfather beat grandmama, but today with the internet, I think if anything, all this complaining is misplaced because we're the ones making the monopolies. There have been other Facebook companies that tried. You're like, nah, but Zuckerberg's so bad. Go use a different platform. There's out there. He's not that bad. I mean, my grandma's on this platform. I can't teach her a whole new network. It's a two-phone race, and we made it that way. We killed BlackBerry. We killed Nikola, or whatever. The Razor, you know what I'm talking about. We decided to give Apple all our money. I know people with the watch, the phone, the tablet, the laptop, the dildo. Like, what? This stock market is making me reassess how we look at the big and powerful companies. They're so justified. When shit hit the fan, we didn't care about the other ones. When this market started breaking down, everyone made a priority list, and I guarantee you, Apple had products on that list. I guarantee you, Johnson&Johnson had products on that list. Like, if Google gave me a free phone, their newest phone for free, I'd be like, I'm good. I'm good. That's how much we refuse to change products. That's how much we are loyal to the monopolies that allow us to do what we do. If you haven't had an issue with Apple, chances are you don't care that they're in a billion pockets compared to their competitors. You don't care. What? They deserve to be there. So are there deserving monopolies?